All right, all right, all right. What is up, YouTube? What is going on, fellow fantasy people? And of course, what is up, the catch fam? Hope everyone is doing phenomenal tonight. You guys already know what time it is. Week 18, fantasy Q&A. We got Steven in the building. What's going on, man?
What's good, brother? How you doing, my man? How you doing? I just had a plate full of chicken, and it was good. Got some barbecue sauce on my face. I've been licking it off before the stream kicked off. But yeah, I got some good eating in me. So I'm ready for the stream tonight, baby.
I had grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Wow. You can't go wrong with that. Did you ever think about that? Man, some of those childhood classics when you were just a little youngster, right? Or people like me and you, maybe a little bit bigger little youngsters, right? Running around grabbing food. Those foods were going to stay in the future, man. Chicken nuggets with a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of barbecue. I mean, those are still must hits, baby.
I just never know what energy you're going to
bring. You know what else is like something that comes to mind now that we're talking about food and great childhood memories? Kids' cuisines, ladies and gentlemen. Kids' cuisines. Please put in the chat if you have ever once dabbled in the kid cuisine territory. Great, delicious items. No nutritional value at all, but they're great.
What was the last time you had a kid's cuisine?
It's been a while. It's been a while, brother. I actually don't know if the company who made them went like bankrupt or something by now, but I tell you what, they're a great vintage item. They were amazing. Absolutely. Locked and loaded meal of the week.
You microwaved it and there'd be like a dessert or a brownie.
Oh yeah, the chocolate pudding with sprinkles.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh.
Yeah, and the pudding would always be way too hot. Like it would be
like overcooked.
Yeah. You'd put it on you'd ruin your entire, everything you just ate would just burn off your, the top of your mouth.
Spencer's the only person in here, and I'm kind of happy. It's the only person in here. So week 17. Takeaways. What initially comes to mind for you, man?
Well, outside of my personal vendetta that I wasn't in the championship because I would have won by a mile.
It scored like 150 points.
I had a big week. One thing that comes to mind is that next season, looking forward, one of my biggest takeaways is that Saquon Barkley, I'm not going to draft him next year. I just think he's a dud. I think another thing too is just that when I'm looking at next year and I'm comparing it to what we saw in week 17 and just all of this season, I mean, I'm not, I don't think much of this season is going to repeat, right? I mean, Jamar Chase, what he just did in week 17, I mean, that was ridiculous, bro. I mean, that's crazy. And that's back-to-back seasons now for an LSU wide receiver, but I don't think Jamar Chase's season that he's having right now is going to be touched for a little bit now. I mean, that dude is just lighting it up.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to have a great season next year.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be similar to Justin Jefferson's rookie year versus a sophomore year,
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing with Jamar Chase is that him and Burrow have a really unique connection.
It's good. It's good. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bengals do going forward, right? Because do they keep all three options that they have right there? I mean, history tells us more than likely they're going to have to move on, but I think it's so important to keep T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I mean, Tyler Boyd, I didn't really realize this until watching the games this week. He's got the C on his chest. He's the captain. He's a captain on this team. I mean, and he's the third option out of this receiver set. I think they love him and they know how much work he puts in. This guy's a badass, bro. Similar to Michael Gallup. Take a minute to just say, damn, that blows, because you and I are obsessed with Michael Gallup. And we're super happy about his future because we thought he was going to finally get that opportunity to be the number one guy. But, I mean, that Michael Gallup's for your team, the Boyd for your team, that opens up guys like Higgins and Chase and Cooper and freaking CeeDee Lamb to be who they are, right?
I think just as importantly is keeping Joe Mixon as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have that trio,
Well, yeah, Joe Mixon. I mean, he's been a guy. I mean, shit, I loved him this mock season, but even loving him, I was scared to draft him because, bro, he has always been this good, right? Like that's never been the question. His question, just like many running backs, is longevity, health. Is he going to be there? This is really the first season we're seeing him like put in a full season of work and show what his resume would look like. I mean, you can kind of compare it to Austin Eckler, right? He hasn't had a full season, but he's had a great season in terms of health. And, when you're extrapolating out to projecting for next season, you need to, also look at 2020 and 2019 before just lock and loading these guys. But tell you what, man, these dudes are talented backs for sure.
Oh, yeah. And this is a young team. I think this team's got a lot coming for the league. But I think Mixon's arguably a top 3 pick. I think he's definitely a top 5 pick next year, because I think this offense is only going to continue to become more and more explosive.
Yeah, I would imagine they're going to do some investment into the O line, even though I think it's been a little bit better than expected, I guess. But they definitely need to invest in that O line because Joe Burrow gets hit like every play. That's another takeaway from Week 17 for me is I'm really concerned about his career because he has had injuries. Obviously, he had injuries, in his first season, and that was a bad one. But this guy, that's not an injury you want to keep going. And every single week, it seems like he's grabbing at the knee or he's got something new. And I don't blame him. It's because he's getting hit like every single damn play.
Yeah. Spencer coming in and saying Bengals need to draft O-line heavy.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Because this defense can make plays. I mean, you invest in the O-line and the defense. I mean, I think this is going to be the team in that division for some time.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the Ravens in that division. I will say that.
One healthy,
I think, one healthy. This season for the Ravens, I mean, it's been a nightmare. I mean, I actually think their biggest comparison I can give to the Ravens is your fantasy team. Just totally cursed by injury. I think that next season they are going to be able to turn it around for sure once they get all their pieces back. I mean, dude, J.K. Dobbins, bro. Like, I mean, this dude was he was projected out at like a 3rd round pick this season. I think he would have been tremendous with this team for sure. We've seen Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray have their game. So, yeah, I got a lot of hope for them. I think the biggest question mark I have in the AFC North, though, is Najee Harris and the Steelers with Big Ben out. Who knows how that goes?
I think he's a top 5 pick next year as well.
So really, so you're gonna roll with that, regardless if they get Aaron Rodgers, or they get somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, you got to imagine they're gonna draft somebody if they don't get A-Rod or Russell Wilson, right?
Well, staying in that same division, I mean, not that I don't mind talking about the Steelers. Man, I don't know if I don't think Baker's that guy.
I don't think he is either. And
is he hurt?
He's definitely hurt, man. But at a certain point, you just gotta. If you're gonna keep putting yourself out there, it's really respect. I mean, dude, like, mad respect to you, bro. But at the end of the day, you need to be good if you're gonna be on that field. I think Michael Strahan actually was saying in one of the games, it was like the Browns. I don't know who they were playing, but he was like, you know what? It's, we applaud you for coming out there. But even I knew back in my day when I was playing, if I'm on that field, I'm expected to be at the top of my performance regardless. It's not just a congrats for being out there, right? Like, he needs to be on his ass. Like, he needs to be balling out. And Baker hasn't done that. He's had good seasons. I mean, shit, last year was a good year for him. But he's had the pieces around him, man. He's had the pieces. Like that. That's not an excuse. Yeah, it's not an excuse. Great coach. Kevin Stefanski's a great coach.
So the rumor going around is that if you watch that game last night, which I actually did watch this whole game on stream last night.
Yeah.
What was the one thing the Browns did not do consistently last night, even though it was working? They did not run the football.
Yeah.
And the rumor going around is that they were literally auditioning Baker Mayfield to see what they had left in him.
Wasn't a good audition.
No. And I think they got their answer.
Yeah. It wasn't a good audition.
And if you watched, every time Nick Chubb got the ball, he had positive runs for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, this O-line is phenomenal. I mean, it just made no sense to not turn to the run. The Steelers' defense has been awful against the run. And I think last night, if you're a Steelers fan, you're actually quite hopeful because it's quite apparent that all they need is TJ Watt to lead this defense. And you can't consistently throw the ball against the Steelers. I think that's why they're not invested in their run defense, because if a team starts throwing against them, they have a chance just because of their pass rush.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he looked like a bully.
It's not a, yeah, I mean, Watt is obviously just a nightmare for offensive coordinators, but you also got Mika back there as well in the secondary. I mean, the defense really has been up and down all season for injuries and COVID concerns and whatever. But at the end of the day, like, this is still a top defensive unit, top coached team in general. But not only do I look to them to improve the quarterback situation next season, to put them in a great contending spot, they need to do something with the OC, right? It's kind of a chicken or an egg question, right? About whether the offense is so miserable and, has these really simple plays because of Big Ben, or is it because of the OC? But bro, I was watching a little bit of it with my dad, and I was like, guarantee you it's a screen pass. Guarantee you it's a 2-yard pass to Deontay Johnson. Every time I said it, it was exactly right. And it's not because I'm a genius, bro. It's because this offense is just ridiculously simple to predict, right? Yeah. And it's like that is going to lock you down as an offense. You're never going to be able to perform that well. I mean, 3rd down and 10, they're doing a screen pass to Chase Claypool. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Yeah. Like, open up. Open it up.
Well, I think this is another. The Steelers are a very interesting team as well. I mean, you get, I got nothing. I really got nothing bad to say about Ben Roethlisberger. Like, he's at the end of his career, right? Like, he's not who he was 10 years ago, right? But it's apparent that he's at the end of his career, and which is actually, I felt like relatively emotional for Ben Roethlisberger last night, and I think a lot of people did. But if you get a quarterback in there who's dynamic and make more down the field throws, like, this team, kind of similar to the Browns, kind of has enough figured out outside of the quarterback position that this can be an elite squad.
Yeah, absolutely elite squad.
I think this division's really interesting, but I just think the momentum hangs with the Bengals right now. And I'll say one thing, man. If I had to buy a jersey right now, I think it'd be Joe Burrow's, because I just like the swagger that he brings. I like the cockiness, but it's much. I don't want to say it's cockiness. It's much more controlled than like similar to Baker Mayfield, where I don't think it was 100% controlled.
Well, he's got the skill to back it up. I think that's
that's the thing, is like,
he's got the swagger, but he's got the skill.
He waits until after he has a 500-yard passing game with 4 touchdowns to be cocky, right? To be dancing in the locker room with a cigar in his mouth after he went down with
it's such a beast.
Yeah. So I got a lot of faith in him, but that's not to say that I didn't have a lot of faith in Baker 2 years ago too. I mean, I like Baker a lot, but Burrow's performing better when healthy. So, one last note on Baker is that if he is not with the Browns next year, it would be the exact same scenario as what we saw unfold with Sam Darnold, where because they exercised his 4th-year option, but doesn't 100% mean he has to stay with the team. More than likely, he would be traded, though. If they cut him, they'd be sitting on dead money. So.
I don't expect them to move on from him.
I personally don't think so either.
No,
I don't.
No.
I think at worst, I mean, he's a backup quarterback.
I think snap 1 next year, he's the starter.
Okay.
I think they're going to bring in a rookie, or they're going to bring in competition. And if he is not playing well, he will lose his job. That's simple as it is. And this is probably the last season of Baker going into it being the starter. I think he deserves it. Like I said, he's played well in the past. He's not been the guy, but there are very few the guy type of players at the quarterback position in the NFL. But I think he can get it done with this Coach Stefanski offense. And it's Cleveland, right? I mean, there's a little bit of different expectations in the city of Cleveland as there would be in maybe New England, right? In New England, like, it's time to fucking win immediately. The Super Bowl, you need to be back there, right? In Cleveland, it's let's go to the playoffs and let's win a game, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's just different.
Yeah, I think that's, and as it seems to be season to season, easily one of the most captivating divisions. Like it's just there's, I think it might have to do with the ownership and coaches, but there's just always competitiveness in that division. So I mean, yeah.
We'll
So
see. We'll see.
we'll
I mean,
see.
hey, we're going to definitely be talking a lot of college football, NFL draft, scouting combine for sure. I know you and I, John, are going to do our own little personal combines and put it out there for you guys to watch. But yeah, it'll be fun because maybe we see and identify a quarterback that is going to be the future of the Cleveland Browns in a year or two. But we'll see him drafted this year, more than likely, I would imagine.
So one last note before we do some roll call. Are the Colts okay there, Steven?
Yeah, I meant they're fine, dude. Didn't I tell you? Was I telling you, or was I just telling my dad or something? Actually, going into that Raiders game, I kind of expected a loss there. And at least maybe not expected a loss, but was not going to be surprised if we lost. It's just totally different circumstances. We didn't need that game. It would have been great. We could have been straight into the playoffs, no questions. But we get to play Jacksonville next week, win, and we're in. Las Vegas Raiders, on the other hand, they're better than people are saying. You know, they are actually in the thick of it. Obviously, if they win against the Chargers, they're in the playoffs. So it's a good team, right? And they get to go up against the Colts, who were a little dilapidated with COVID and injuries. Just great opportunity, which is why Hunter Renfrow went off. But then taking it another step further, too. I mean, you know, you're just catching a hot Raiders team against a Colts team that's maybe just taking a week off, get ready for the Jags, and get this shit started.
Gear up for them Jags, bro.
But hey, dude, I tell you what, bro, that one pass Carson Wentz through and it got like fucking deflected up in the air and T.Y. Hilton caught the touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the exact type of shit that's going to make us not win playoff games. Like Carson Wentz just threw it to two defenders and it just so happens that they both can't catch it. But that's the shit that's going to make us lose.
Very Carson Wentz-esque play. So. All right, guys, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Make sure you hit that sub button if you're new to the channel. Go ahead and join the Catch fam tonight. Hope everyone's doing well. We'll go ahead and hop into the chat. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Spence, WTF, Steven's hella weird. Yes. Steven, not everyone eats like a 4-year-old. At least we've up to tenders. Face 10 4. What's up, bro? Devin Singletary is really looking solid. Yeah, the Bills finally deciding they want to utilize your run game, and it's been working out.
Yeah.
He looked great against the Falcons in the snow.
Yes, he did.
Spencer, we should do the 2022 mock draft on Sleeper. Never too early to prep for next year. Yeah, we can put that together soon. I think we want to get through week 18 like normal, like we've done every other week throughout the season. And then we'll start to move into some, early 2022 preparation before we hop into our very, very heavy summer, strict 2022 preparation. Yeah. Bengals going to draft O-line heavy. They need a cornerstone piece on the line. Yeah, you absolutely do. Spencer, Steven, are you cold, hoodie, and jacket on in the house? He's pretty geared up back there.
John, you know how it is in this house, man. The AC is still going in the winter. It's cold out here. There's snow on the ground outside. The windows need to be replaced. So all the cold air is coming straight into the house. So I'm bundled up, man. During the daytime, you will find me with a scarf on. That is no joke.
Bengals are close. Their D needs substantial work. In 2 to 3 years, they will make it. But I predict next year they will finish wild card again. Well, they won their division. They're not. Well, I guess they still play wild card. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. It's not how it used to be. Yeah. Spence, they ain't getting Rodgers. Blasphemy. Juke, what's up, Juke? Going to the second week of my championship round. I currently lead by 42. Pretty sure I got in the bag. Let's go, Juke.
Let's get it,
Congrats, baby. Bro. Kelvion, I want to see Derek Carr go to the Broncos or Browns. I could see that.
I just want to see him move on. If you're going to put all that hate on my man Derek Carr's name, let him go somewhere else where they'll appreciate him. Sure. Shit. Colts, we'll do anything to get you to come over here to Indy.
Vincent, hey, what's up, fellas? Full PPR 12-team league, or keep Eli Mitchell in the 4th round or DK in the 5th. I would say DK.
Yeah, 100p.
That's a pretty good spot to draft a DK Metcalf too.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see because I think he's going to fall a little bit, but DK in the 5th is still something solid to lock it in there. Who knows what this 49ers offense is going to be next year. And I imagine they might draft another running back. And if they don't, they got Trey Sermon, who you got to expect them to give another chance to.
Yeah, remember that guy?
They could re-sign Raheem Mostert, too.
Why not? Spencer, San Francisco backfield is always a shit show. Yeah, I agree. That's a great point. It was Mitchell this year. Who knows what it'll be next year?
And it was Mostert at first, right? Until he got hurt.
And Jeff Wilson sprinkled in. Basically, my prediction at the beginning of the year. AMG, what's up, boys? What's going on, bro? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming out. Big Ben's the only Steeler quarterback I've ever seen. Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Remember
Charlie Batch, the old backup for them? He'd get a couple starts here and there. Charlie Batch. I remember that guy.
I don't actually. I mean, they went to a Super Bowl in the 90s, right? Yeah, and in the late 80s, I think.
Yeah, I know they had like a nice tear. But I think it was either the 70s and 80s. Right?
Wasn't Maddox?
Maddox is in there, yeah, bro. Yeah. Maddox, dude. Maddox is nice.
It'll be weird seeing another guy fill his spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben's been the guy forever, man. And not to get on this topic, but I don't know if you saw Antonio Brown talking about Ben Roethlisberger from his Uber. Did you see that?
That was so weird, bro. At first, I couldn't tell that the background was moving and he was in a car driving, and that was just like, bro, what is he doing? And what I saw too, again, not to dive too deep into AB, who burned you in your fantasy leagues. I mean, talk about just a total disappointment. They still have not rescinded his rights, so they still own it.
He's still buck.
So Bruce Arians said he is trying to either A, finesse him, or B, that they're going to keep him around. I don't know. I think
maybe Tom was like,
I think Tom.
Have you seen my receiver room, guys? They had some players step up, bro. Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah,
bro. They will lose round one. That's a possibility, man. I mean, round one right now. I think I saw PFF put out today that they'd be playing San Francisco, right? So a little bit easier than Arizona, which is what they were thinking last week, but. Bro, like if they have to play Dallas, San Fran, or Arizona in that first matchup, those are losable games with that current receiving core.
Well, that Niners pass rush can get to you, man.
Yeah,
and that's Tom Brady's worst enemy is a team that can pass rush him. You know, look back to the Broncos when they went to the Super Bowl. It's the only reason they won that AFC divisional game is because of Von Miller and company.
Yeah,
probably the only reason that Broncos team won the Super Bowl too, right? But I think it's a very real possibility that this Buccaneers team is in danger. But I think I'm still more worried about the defense than anything.
Yeah, the ground game got sloshed last week.
I mean, look at any of Tom Brady's Super Bowl wins. He's never. I mean, outside of like a Julian Edelman and a Gronk, like he's really never had one of. I mean, Randy Moss, but they didn't win the Super Bowl with Randy Moss. You know, he doesn't need elite skill position players to win. Le'Veon Bell is going to have to step up. It's going to be interesting to watch this.
Bro, I actually think Lev Bell, like, what do you think about Lev Bell? Like, are you any fantasy thoughts on this week?
I mean, I talked about him in the waiver wire video, but I also talked about Keyshawn Vaughn because, I mean, I think they'll both end up with touches, but I think it'll probably be split, whether it's 50-50, 60-40. I mean, 70-30. I mean, I think it's going to be split. I think it's too risky to trust, but it could pay off if you're in a bad enough position from a fantasy perspective. Yeah.
I kind of look at Lev Bell like we looked at Keyshawn coming into this week coming into last week against the Jets. It's like Lev Bell, I wouldn't be totally surprised if he saw some passing work because we know he's been good at that in his career. But Keyshawn Vaughn, I imagine him to get the bulk of the work in this game against Carolina, which last time they played, they obviously handled them with ease. And I don't expect much different of a game script this week either.
Yeah. We'll see, man. But I still like the Bucks. I do.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the Cowboys after their last performance. I still like the Cowboys. But I think the Cardinals are still up there. But I just think right now it's got to be the Packers.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Ronald, what's up, boys? What's up, Ronald? I got a meeting at 8:30, so I will have to pop off. Just saying hey for a bit. Appreciate
What's
you
up,
coming by,
Ron?
Ronald. Yeah, appreciate you being here, bro. Chase jersey would be cleaner at the number 1. Steven already claimed it.
Yeah, dude, that's so sick, bro. I love that shit.
Now that I'm getting the jersey game, if I get the same jerseys as Steven, he'll be really mad.
Well, you have a Josh Allen, but dude, I was gonna get you the Joe Burrow, bro. I was gonna get you the
I
Joe
like the
Burrow.
Allen jersey. I wore it every day last week.
No, but it's funny because they had like the old school uniforms. I was just so blown because Joe Burrow. I had a feeling you would really want that one too.
Yeah, I love Josh. I've loved Josh Allen since he's been in the league. So I wish we had him recording because he used to hate on him and I liked him. So
I know.
yeah. Let's see. Tyreek Bill, what's going on, man? Good to see you, bro. Been a little bit. How you doing, man? Good to have you here. AMG, what's up, bro? Saying what up to Tyreek Bill. Ronald, it's okay that you got a meeting, bro. We're not mad at you. Everyone said the Eagles would not trade Carson Wentz after signing him to that ridiculous long-term deal. They did it without blinking. Yeah, that's
Eagles don't care. They will move on.
Yeah.
They will move on at the quarterback position.
John Simmons is going on, bro. I saw that if I started Higbee over Knox and Penny over Amari at flex, I would have won the ship. Yeah, that's always the worst. That's always the worst.
Was there a much better player, especially when you narrow it down at the RB spot, than Rashad Penny over this last month? I mean, dude, this guy was an absolute blessing to your fantasy teams, and you got him for nothing off the waivers. I mean, so many questions about dynasty value on this guy for next season. I mean, this is a dude that do you keep? Do you keep? Because you don't know where he's going to be, but he's got the talent. I personally, if I had to tell somebody what to do with Rashad Penny, I'd stay away. I wouldn't use a keeper on him or anything like that because this guy's history is injured every single damn play. So that scares me.
Pete Carroll loves him, though.
Yeah.
John, don't beat yourself up, man. I mean, this was a tough fantasy season. Getting second place is an accomplishment without a doubt this year. So I know it's not easy to look at your bench and say, if I did this and this, I would have won because I do that all the time. But I mean, I thought Knox would be a smash play. I mean, he burnt us against the Falcons this week.
Burnt so many.
And Higbee really showed up, and he hadn't showed up in the past like 6 weeks. So, and I personally thought Amari would have a decent game going up against the Cardinals. That secondary's played very bad, but
especially with Gallup going down early.
Yeah, it's true.
Crazy.
What's going on, Time Out with Henry? Good to see you in the chat, bro. Ronald, Steven, are the glasses new?
So I've actually had them for a little bit. They got lost, but refound them. They're blue light glasses. I've been having serious headaches and like my eyes are so strained throughout the day that I'm exhausted. I can't even keep them open. And John, you kind of told me about them too. Keep those blue lights on, and they're a blessing, bro. They help big time, dude.
That's actually all I wear too. So
yeah, you need them.
But I started having migraines too this past year.
Yeah,
it's been about a year now, which is good. So
I mean, today's work and everything that you do, I mean, you're always staring at a screen these days, bro.
In most places, if you're not staring at a screen, you're under fluorescent lights all day, which is just as bad.
Yeah,
so it's if you're terrible. In a building. So AMG Week 18 fantasy sucks. Managers getting the boot next season. It's Crypt won my championship by 1 point. God bless Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Dude, Najee Harris waited till the end of that game to either win a fantasy championship for you or help you lose a fantasy championship. And you did it for Big Ben, right? Walk-off touchdown.
Bro, but how many people were we getting comments about, like, do you still roll with Najee after he was kind of... You cannot bench a guy like Najee, dude, because he's got that 30 points in the tank, dude. The dude's a beast.
Put him in the must-start video, man. I mean, I talked about that. I mean, the three guys I kind of grouped together were Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, and Nick Chubb, who did not have a good game. Yeah. Chubb, very, very disappointing this past week, which I don't think was his fault. But, I mean, these are just guys that you went out and you drafted for a reason. And, you can't bench a guy like Najee, right?
And I also want to just make a quick comment on AMG's week 18 fantasy sucks. Just a personal comment, John. I think you feel the same way. It's really good to not have your fantasy football championships or anything tied to that in the last week of the season, because what are we going to see this week, bro? Like the Packers, like Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers, big time names Why the hell would they play this game? Like, I don't think we can say that they're 100% going to play. I mean, obviously, right now it kind of looks like they are at least going to suit up for the first quarter, but there's no reason at all that those guys are in the game.
So it's interesting, right? I actually have some thoughts on this because when you look at it with the new playoff format, it actually makes, I mean, every team's relevant this week except for the Packers to some degree.
Yeah.
Every team, which we've never seen before this playoff format, which could change the scope of fantasy moving forward. I think it's okay to do it in week 18. I prefer ending in week 17, but the way it's moving, I mean, you could see that this becomes more normalized in fantasy football. But to touch on Adams and Rodgers, everything I've looked into is that they want to play and they will suit up, but I don't disagree. I don't think they make it past the first half of the game. I mean, they're going to destroy the Lions, and even if they don't, who cares? You secured the bye week. So,
I mean, dude, the fact that I'd love to hear what Spencer has to say about this, but the fact that A-Rod's obviously banged up with a toe injury that people joke about not even being real. It's kind of funny what Eli said, but and then you got Davante Adams, who is absolutely essential to this team. If like you just can't risk that at all in a game that's 100% meaningless. But yeah, I expect them to show Jordan Love some snaps, and we're gonna see some gross football out of Jordan Love.
I think more than anything, what we're seeing, because I've just heard those two specific players say that they want to play this week because there's a lot of other players. Aaron Jones, I mean, you got Lazard, MVS. I mean, you got O linemen who've been banged up. You've got plenty of defenders. G. Alexander just came back, or is planning to just come back. I mean, who've been banged up on the season, who deserve to sit and be healthy for the playoffs. But I think what it comes down to is Aaron Rodgers knows he's at the top of the MVP race, and he's asking his buddy Davante Adams to help him secure that MVP spot. So yeah, I personally think that's what that comes down to, but I don't think they'll make it past the first half of the game. Let's see here. Vincent, I remember Cordell/Stewart was QB for the Steelers. Yeah, I don't remember him.
I almost dropped his name actually too. He was really? He was one of the original mobile wheels guys, man. Yeah, he was quick.
Did Mark Brunell ever play for the Steelers?
I don't think so. He was a skin. Yeah, he was a skin.
I just remember Maddox. Didn't Jason Campbell go to the Steelers at a point?
Dude, I don't think I've hated a quarterback more than Jason Maddox. Don't think I've hated a quarterback. Jason Campbell. Yeah. Sorry, Maddox. Didn't mean to lump you in there.
We basically grew up watching Jason Campbell.
The worst player ever. I hated Campbell. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was a big deal.
I will say, just while we're talking about Washington real quick, it just got released today that the odds-on favorite for the new team name, which will be dropping, I believe it was February, is the Washington Commanders. So don't know how you feel about that, but that's in there.
I prefer the Washington football team.
Yeah, me too.
What's under the hat? We've never seen it. I think in some of Steven's solo videos, he goes hatless. He's shown that he's got no hat before. Wow. Yeah, little hair twirl there. He thinks we can't hear him, but he just whispered, yeah. Yeah. So what's up, Anthony? Good to see you. Spencer says 8 head, that 4 head blinding. You don't want to see that.
Dude, that 8 head is that's generous, brother. I'm talking 10. I'm talking 10.
Spencer, John, I hope your kid gets born on the 20th. I mean, her due date's the 22nd. So it's very likely, but as of today, it could happen literally while we're streaming. So we'll find out.
That would be hype, bro. We would have to set the number at that point. Everybody got to jump in and catch the stream.
Hold on. We gotta take wagers from the Catch fam. Just hold on, babe. Yeah, I mean, she's 3 centimeters dilated. So basically what the doctors tell you at this point is look for contractions and your water breaking, and it could be hours or it could be 3 more weeks. So
I remember when you first told me to dilate it, I was like, I had no idea what those technical terms were. And then you elaborated, you told me, man, that's like, it's common, bro.
Yeah. Crazy. So you guys can imagine the anxiety in my mind for the next 3 weeks. Ronald, if you wear a t-shirt under a jersey and don't spill something on it, you almost never have to wash it. Yeah. Unless you have really sweaty armpits. Hybrid Harry, what's going on, bro? Hit the like button for you, my guy. Have a great stream today, sir. Hey, we appreciate you, bro. Guys, if you're into Warzone content, Harry does some great Warzone streams. Go check him out. Go drop a like. Go drop a sub. He's on the grind to 500 subscribers. He does some good content. Go check him out, man. Thank you for coming by, Harry. Good to see you, bro. Spencer, Dynasty, I've never done one of those leagues. I haven't either. Tyser, sup, bros? What am I going to do for 8 months? Bro, the good news is we have so much planned.
Yeah.
We have so much content for you guys for the off season. We have plenty of things to keep you guys occupied while fantasy is away. Rodgers and Adams are playing for a bit. They want to keep the momentum. I want them to play. Keep the pedal to the metal. The Packers have to come out slow when we get the bye a lot of the time.
They did last year, I feel like, because they got the bye last year too, right? And they came up a little bit slow.
Yeah. The guys that have injuries or need rest will get it. The Packers will bring guys back slowly. Hey, you're a Packers insider, bro.
Yep.
Hyped. I won my league, cashed out for $200 from a $20 league. Let's freaking
get
go.
It, dude. That 180 profit.
Let's go. AMG, the Commanders. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Commanders.
Dude, hold on. They dropped the list too. I'm gonna see if it's on their on the page.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, is there really any names out there that are that much better?
There was some really bad ones. There was like the Washington Defenders. Yeah, it's gotten pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now.
Defenders versus Commanders. I don't feel like
there was the Admirals.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to like, you know?
They're not going to stay with the Washington football team. We know that. They're definitely moving on from there, which is kind of unfortunate because we've almost seen the culture of this team shift recently and move into a direction where I think there's a lot more positivity with this.
I kind of like the WFT.
I do too. I think a lot of people have. I mean, people are kind of,
but frankly, like, if it becomes the Commanders, like, because when it was the Washington football team, we all laughed at it. We were all like, "Oh, this is stupid."
Dude, I still laugh at it, bro.
We're like, we hate this name, right? So, and now a year later, like, hey, I kind of like the Washington football team. So, I don't really doubt that if he comes to Commanders, we'll just get used to it and put up with it. Vincent, I'm number 3 pick next year, full PPR. Who do you guys take? Cup, Jefferson, and Javonte are already kept. So number 3 overall. I would pick a Joe Mixon or Najee Harris, man, because I think that more than likely you'll probably see Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry go first and second. You might see Henry slip to 3 or 4. I'm not going to be surprised if he does.
Yeah.
And I think Eckler is right there in that top 5 too. Steven's going to get mad at me. I would, just because of injury concerns, I think I move Eckler to about number 5 overall. I think number 4 or 5 is fair, but I still think Eckler's in that top 5. So for me, that early of a pick, you got to go to the running back position. If you're outside the top 7 or 8, you can go with receiver, maybe a Travis Kelce, although we've talked about this past couple of days. I think you look at what Mark Andrews did this season, he should be right next to where Kelce gets taken. But I think realistically, Andrews slips to the 2nd, maybe 3rd round, depending on how your league drafts. But I think you got top 3. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I think Joe Mixon has earned that number 3 spot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I understand the argument for why you're putting Austin Eckler a little bit further down. Same argument that I used on Derrick Henry in the past. If we're taking away that, kind of issue, because I think you can make the same exact argument for Joe Mixon. My opinion, it's Austin Eckler if you're not in a standard league, because we saw this year what he can do for your team in a half PPR setting. I mean, it's unmatched.
That was a good pick by you, man.
It was an accident. Well, it was a pick that I didn't truly believe in. I'll say that.
Yeah. Vincent, let us know where your headspace is at, man. I think you go running back there, especially if you have, DK locked up already as kind of your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, especially if you get DK in the 5th round, you can get some solid first 4 picks. Make 2 of them a running back. you could take a snag at a tight end, then go receiver. Then you have, RB1, RB2, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and a tight end. Your roster's, the core of it's essentially set. Man, I got to tell you right now, Steve. I got to tell you right now, bro. I don't think I'm doing this RB heavy thing anymore, man.
You took it to an extreme, bro. You're like one of those people that do a diet and do it like to the absolute max, dude. Like you went too hard.
Picked a lot of running backs. It almost worked out. I'll tell you the main thing.
If AB stayed healthy.
If AB stayed healthy, but I had a lot of misses at receiver in late rounds. There are a lot of receivers hanging around that if I had picked could have been. But the biggest thing is I went with a quarterback early, which I never do. And it was Lamar Jackson, and that man just
didn't pan out.
No, but if it had been I don't know, anyone else, basically, I would have had a shot. I lost a lot of matchups by like 12 points. So anyways, we don't need to talk about my draft. But I'm telling you, man, think about next year. I don't think I go.
Well,
I'll say this. I did a lot of mock drafts this past year where I called it the bounce back method, okay? You go RB receiver, then you naturally fill a tight end and quarterback when they come to you when they fall to you at the right rounds. And outside of that, you're just bouncing back between RB and receivers and filling out your roster that way. And every time I did a draft like that, I felt like I had really solid teams. And then when it came time to draft, I was like, RBs, let's go.
Who won our championship this year? A guy who did that exact approach and got Kirk Cousins at the end, and then a championship started Trey Lance, right? A free agent at the time. Yeah. So I mean, that back end quarterback approach is so great. And dude, the thing is too, I'm not necessarily happy with Kirk Cousins being my quarterback or a quarterback like him as being my guy. But there are other names out there that you could be happy with. I mean, you could have waited on a guy like Jalen Hurts for a long time that people didn't do.
I mean, Herbert's your QB2 right now. Brady's in the top 3. Jalen Hurts was number 1 for a long time on the season. So you think about those 3 guys. Matthew Stafford's, still in the top 8.
Wow. I don't even want to hear his name right now.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously he's fallen off towards the end of the season. Could have lost you championship, but he could have gotten you there too, right? Could have lost you playoffs too, the way he played the week prior. But I my whole fantasy career, I've gotten the QB late approach. And I that obviously was not the piece keeping me out of the championship. We learned that this year. So.
Well, John, before you move on, just curious to see who is your keeper, right? And if you have one, I think it's obvious for me, it's Javonte on your team. But, to anybody else out there, like he said, he has Javonte, do you have a lot of confidence in that, right? It obviously a little bit depends on what they do in the offseason, but I think Javonte's a good keep for sure.
It probably is Javonte, because my team sucks.
Your team blows. Yeah.
My team has a lot of waiver players too. It's probably Javonte because I got him at a really good round. Outside of that, I don't think there's anyone I would consider. I mean, maybe I think the thing with Montgomery and Robinson is I can draft them in the same exact rounds again. And also,
I think you can get Robinson way later, actually.
I don't trust either of them to stay healthy. And Williams is the youngest, and I got him in the latest round, and he's just a natural flex RB2, especially if Gordon's gone. So it makes the most sense. So it helps my draft far more than keeping Montgomery or Robinson. And I have no receivers to speak of after this past weekend. And I'm not keeping Lamar. So who's your keeper?
Jamar.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I get him in the 9th round. Yeah, basically locked up at receiver.
That makes a lot of sense. Dude, I feel like with, if for those of you listening, this is the first year mine and Steven's league was the actual money league. And what we do 10 years before, $10 before?
Yeah, and I mean, like nobody paid me ever. Whatever.
Now the fact that it's bigger money and everything, like I think people are going to be a lot more competitive and want to come back and win a lot more. So I think next year is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to do more and more prizes. Just like, Spencer was giving some recommendations about way to keep other, teams involved. So I think that's
I like that
too in your fantasy leagues.
Yeah, I like the toilet bowl idea to make the toilet bowl competitive, because it should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Because if not, then the top team in your league, top two teams can pick up Rashad Penny and Ronald Jones and Trey Lance and whoever
They can get
pops up.
everybody. They can get
The only
everybody.
people competing with waivers at the end of the season were like the top three teams and me. So, Spence, I think you will see Jair, Zadarius, and Becchiotti coming back first week of the playoffs with Preston Smith, Aaron Jones, Rodgers, Adams all get taken out later in the game.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Packers kind of incorporate Jair Alexander back into the lineup, because they've had amazing success at the corner position this year. For some reason, it's slipping my tongue right now, Spencer, if you know who it is. The corner that filled in for Jair when he went out, he's been lighting it up this year. I mean, he had an amazing game against the Cleveland Browns. So obviously it's a good problem to have, having Jair come back healthy, because he's one of the best corners in the league. But it's going to be interesting to see how that happens.
Vincent, thanks. If Rodgers goes to Pitt, I was thinking Najee, then Andrews. Yeah, I think that's fine. But if not, I think Mixon's just as good of a pick. But I think another guy I think is going to be a steal in this upcoming draft is going to be Deandre Swift, because he was a top 5 back before that injury, and he was lighting up the league. So obviously some injury concerns, but really when you're looking at your top 15 running backs going into the next year, you're going to have a lot of injury concerns after this past year. And I think, hear me out for a second, but I think moving forward, especially with what we saw with this longer season this year and everything, I think the running back position is becoming a little bit less important in terms of fantasy drafting, because you have so many more running backs popping up on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
If you look at this past year, the running back position is what was going off on the waiver wire due to injuries. Like, you didn't get a lot of receivers, you didn't get a lot of tight ends, you didn't get a lot of quarterbacks. If you did, it was people stepping up, becoming playmakers for their team for the most part. Don't get me wrong, there were injuries at each position, but overall, when you look at the running back position, it's not like guys were emerging and we were picking them up. People were going down, so you're going out and picking up players. And I think with the longer season, that's going to be an aspect that we have to think about, because you're going to get top tier guys like an Eckler, like a Derrick Henry, James Robinson, David Montgomery, moving into another tier, right? Who maybe won't be around the second half of the season, you know?
Yeah.
And then you've got a unique group of backs: Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. Who am I missing?
I mean, I think you can throw Aaron Jones in there.
Sure, Aaron Jones, who, the past year or 2 years were elite, and they're slowly drifting to a non-elite stage.
Yeah, especially Saquon Barkley. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy falls to the 3rd round.
Yeah, and that's all due to injury, right? So, now imagine, we said it this past year,
getting Saquon that deep.
Yeah, imagine if Saquon can get healthy and do Saquon things. I don't know if it's Saquon we talked about this year, but it's CMC. Like, I think I'll draft him.
I'm not letting him fall past number 12, in my opinion. I know you're really low on him, but
if he burnt you, he burnt you. But
he burned me the year before. Yeah,
he shouldn't last past 12. But I tell you, man, I don't know about that Panthers team either.
Yeah.
Spence, pick the best person available first 4 rounds. After that, then pick needs. Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it as well. Julian, are they still starting Adams? Spencer says yes, but it's likely he will not play the entire game.
Yeah,
I agree. Money Dynasty, Catch Fam League. Whew, they'll give us something to think about.
That would be sure. Douglas, yes, Douglas is a dog.
I will say I don't want to do any money leagues for the catch.
Yeah,
because once you involve money, man, it's a whole.
Bro, that's when people are like. People are showing up at each other's houses. Where's my cash, brother?
Yeah,
where's my cash?
Yeah, we'll always do prizes. We'll always do prizes, but we'll think about it. Maybe after another year or so in the OG close knit Catch family, we can consider it. But we'll see. Jared will stay on top receiver, and Stokes and Douglas will take the rest. Okay. I mean, you get Jared back. It's huge. It's huge.
Massive, yeah.
Vincent, in one of my leagues, we add points totals from weeks 14 through 17 to determine draft position.
Woo.
Everyone then has a legitimate right to add and compete. It's healthy for the league. That's interesting.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because then, I mean, Steven does, if we're doing a keeper league and, Steven or Tyler or Bryce, how did Bryce? Did you see Bryce's final lineup?
It was Mike Davis, right? Wasn't he in the mix?
Duke Johnson, Brian Pringle.
Dude, Byron Pringle had a kick return for a touchdown, too. They got taken back. They could have won the game for him, bro. They could have won the game.
That was a trash lineup, dude.
And it almost won, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was so pissed that I wasn't in the championship.
You should have been. You should have been.
Yeah,
you should have been. AMG, I'm a Panthers fan. Seems he should be high tier next season. He will have an O-line add-on with the offensive coordinator. I do have a sneaky suspicion, man, that a lot of people are going to regret not drafting Christian McCaffrey.
Dude, this guy is...
But I can't draft him personally. I just can't. If it's a 12-man league and I got picks 11 and 12, I would consider it. Because I already have Javonte, too.
Let me ask you this. Another guy that is, in my opinion, a top 3 pick next year. But this season has definitely added concern to me. Alvin Kamara. What has to happen for him to be a top 3 pick? Because for me, it's a quarterback that is Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or somebody of that caliber. If that is not him, if they are not on that offense, he is not a top 5 pick for me. I just saw something different from him this year, and it scared the hell out of me.
I'm sorry. I'm going to pull up the running back rankings on the year, and for some reason, wait. Why is Drew Brees trending as an ad?
What?
Okay, this has to be because the season ended and all the rankings are messed up. I don't know what that's about. Okay, that's not a thing. Yeah. So in terms of Alvin Kamara, who did not have a bad year, I mean, he's still top 12 back in the year, and he got essentially no offensive support.
Yeah.
I think that's probably another back. Another back I was trying to mention earlier was Zeke. So yeah, you're kind of in this weird like transition phase with a lot of these backs, and I think it depends on who the quarterback is next year for the Saints. But wouldn't you assume it's Jameis Winston?
No, not at all. 100%. No.
It could be Taysom Hill.
They're moving on from everybody. I think I would imagine it is somebody that is not on this team right now.
I mean, listen, Kamara missed 4 games, okay?
Yeah.
And he's still top 12 back. Weeks 15 and 16, it felt like he was having a bad year, but he played Tampa Bay, number 10 against position, and Miami, number 6 against the position. And you look outside of that, man.
Look at the beginning of the season. Wasn't he really shitty?
No.
Didn't he have a stretch where he was really hurting your squads? That's what I remember from Kamara. A lot of concern from him.
Week 2 against Carolina, 4th against position, he had 5 points. Other than that, he had 12 or more fantasy points in every other matchup. So he really only burnt you the stretch that he was injured than weeks 15 and 16, because week 17 against Carolina this past week, he had over 18 fantasy points. And week 14 against the Jets, he had over 20 fantasy points. So, I mean, he's still, if you think about it, 3 games out of the season with single-digit fantasy points, then 4 where you're injured, that ain't that bad if you're fully healthy.
Yeah.
So
but are you still taking him? And my point is, you still take him in the top 3 to 5 if they don't got reinforcements on that offense. I mean, it's a completely different system.
He's right outside the top 5. I mean, I think 6 to 8 easy. You got Najee Harris. But, I mean, speaking of some of these backs, right, Zeke's a top 6 back right now. Leonard Fournette, even though he's been on IR, is number 5. You got James Conner, number 7. Patty, Pounder and Cheese, Cordero.
He's not going to be in the conversation next year.
Nah, I mean, he's at RB8. He scored 232.4 fantasy points on average. You got Chubb at number 10. Gibson's number 12.
He's going to be an interesting one. Going to be an interesting one because this is a dude who coming into the season, we loved him, but if he can get healthy, this offense is going to be better next year. So many injuries derailed them. I think this team one more year of getting their O-line put together, this offense put together, healthy pieces. Antonio Gibson is still that guy, and you're going to be able to get him at a discount this year.
Yeah.
He's not going to be that right off the first round cusp. He's getting taken. He's going to fall.
You get Damien Harris as number 13. But I think Stevenson starts this. God, remember in the preseason we talked about Ramondre Stevenson much.
We did.
Technically,
I'm just gonna say this too. People, and I'm going to use you as an example. I don't think fantasy owners like yourself who have strayed away from handcuffs in the past should do this anymore. Same point that what you talked about with the extra week being added. We are seeing those high quality handcuff backs become more than just an injury replacement guy. I mean, Madison should have been used more, you could argue, but AJ Dillon, hell of a great back this season. I mean, he had a good year. Whenever I felt like I needed a running back at the flex, I could play him and not be concerned about it. Melvin Gordon, right? Replacement. Javonte Williams, they're kind of replaceable values. Tony Pollard was another guy. These dudes you can get on the back end of the draft, and you should really be looking at them as a great draft pick, right? A team draft pick that you can hold all season.
It's true. You're kind of skewed here. You got Henry and Cook, 14 and 15, obviously both dealing with injuries, but yeah, Cook's in a really unique spot too. But I think he's got to stay in the top 10, right? And
I would be so happy to get Cook next year.
Yeah. Then you kind of go to the next tier, right? You got Josh Jacobs, still finished number 16. Okay. If we're going through week 17,
I know. I
don't want to hear any hate because some of my top guys still finished top 24. Okay, Josh Jacobs is in there too. Javonte Williams, number 17. Got Tyrone Williams of the Chiefs, number 18. Deandre Swift kind of skewed down to number 19, but before the injuries, top 5 guy, man.
Yeah.
Seeing a ton of volume. And I think he's going to be a bargain running back next. He's the type of running back I look for, David Montgomery's number 20. I'm telling you, man, as much as I love David Montgomery, I don't think I'm drafting any players that I drafted this past year. So I don't think you're going to hear me talk about him as much. But, I mean, the volume should still be there. That offense
is going to be improved.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely be improved. So I think to be realistic, I think he'll be a bargain running back as well next year. But there are injury concerns as well. Melvin Gordon, number 21. So at this point in the season, Javonte's moved ahead of Gordon.
Yeah. I got 2 thumbs down on Gordon next year unless he gets a number 1 role somewhere.
Yeah. AJ Dillon, number 22. So your thesis is completely correct. You got Robinson, 23rd. Singletary's moved up to 24. You still got Darrell Henderson, number 25. So it is interesting with the Rams overall because you got Akers coming back. McVay says he might play in some sort of capacity. From a fantasy perspective here in Week 18, don't read into that. But there's a lot of concern about Cam Akers next year. This is a very tough injury to come back from. But the point being, whether it's Michelle, Henderson, or Akers, it's proven from this past season, whoever's the RB1 for the Rams is going to see a lot of good volume. So,
and they want it to be Akers. I will say that if everybody's ready to go next year, Akers is going to get the bulk of the work. They not only drafted this guy, they love this guy. I mean, they were so excited for Cam Akers. Sean McVay was doing that podcast, man. He was super pissed off when this whole thing happened with Akers over the offseason. It's going to be interesting to see again where you draft him because he's going to have a lot of competition, not just one back, but 2 backs, and then that passing offense to also compete with. But I love his value for sure. And I think you'll be able to get him in a deal. And, that speaks to a larger argument about what these running backs are going to look like in general next year. Maybe not just running backs, but also receivers. I think next year is like such a great opportunity for consistent repeat fantasy owners or people like the Catch fam who have done their research this year. Because, bro, the draft is not going to be necessarily all about 2021. It's going to be about 2020 and 2019 too, because so many things happened this year, like Tyrone Williams cracking into the top 24, some of these guys cracking into the top 24, slipping out of the top 24 because of injuries and COVID. That you've got to look beyond just last year's stats when you're looking at next year.
Sure. Chill Will, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you coming out tonight. Good to see you, bro. Thoughts on Dillon long term, though? Didn't they pay Jones max contract last year? Absolutely true. And I think Jones will remain a Packer regardless of what happens, quarterback and receiver position. As much as I'd like to see Jones join Rodgers and or Adams wherever they go. But I think to Steven's point is, speaking of Dillon, the draft value where you can get him next year makes him a lot more valuable. Just hunting for those handcuffs overall. It is definitely something we're going to have to pay more attention to next year overall.
Like, do you take Aaron Jones 5 rounds ahead of AJ Dillon? For me, no.
Yeah, it's fair enough. But we've seen over this long season a lot more coaches. You're basically utilizing 2 running backs the whole season, and you're having a lot more game scripts, game plans where you're using 2 running backs within the game plan. It's not just 1 running back. So we'll see. But I do think that obviously Jones, I think he'll remain a Packer. So I think it's a fair enough concern for sure.
The bigger concern I have, or biggest thing you need to be looking at over the offseason in terms of AJ Dillon is if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, AJ Dillon has like 90% less value to me.
Really?
This is I wouldn't draft him next year. I wouldn't be interested in him because I get it. He's still an amazing back, but this offense is completely different. And a ton of his upside, a ton of Aaron Jones' upside is directly involved with Aaron Rodgers and all the red zone work these guys see. And open boxes, right? The defense is looking for the pass every play.
Let's look at the QB position real quick. Why not?
Yeah.
So you got Allen number 1. Yeah. The guy you acquired in the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Saquon.
Yeah. I saw that turned out. It was pretty, actually. It was like just equal. Pretty equal.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he won the trade. I still do.
Barely. But yeah.
Anyway, so you got Justin Herbert number 2. Just by 4 points, you got Brady at number 3. Mahomes still hanging out number 4. You got Rodgers number 5. Man, Rodgers another QB.
Yeah.
You could have got it extreme value this past year. And he really didn't, from a fantasy perspective, start heating up until the end of the season. But that's when you need him, man. You don't need a lot of points from the quarterback position. But if you get it at the end of the season, it's 10 times better, right? I mean.
And I think both, and not to knock on us too much here, but both of us in the offseason were actually concerned about Aaron Rodgers this year.
It was a tough schedule.
Their strength of schedule coming in was one of the hardest. And Aaron Rodgers, we pointed back at his old stats the years before his MVP season and just said, we got to look at the numbers ad hoc here and just say, we can't necessarily predict a MVP season. And what did this guy do? He won an MVP again.
Yeah. We'll see. The media will decide. Chill Will, thanks. Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you coming out tonight, man. Guys, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure if you're new to the channel, you hit that sub button down below and join the Catch fam tonight. Appreciate everyone being here tonight, man. LeBron's brain. What's up, gang? What's good, bro? What's good? Good to see you, bro. Let's see here. Jerry, what's up, boys? What's good, Jerry? Ronald, I am back. Ronald, what's good,
Ronald?
Bro? Jerry, I have to drive back. I'll be back in about 30 minutes. Hope you guys are still streaming. Yeah, we'll be on until 10. Let's see. Look at that. Catch fam in the building. So outside of the top 5, right? Allen, Herbert, Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers. I don't see that changing too much, although
Kyler.
Well, Burrow's at number 6 right now. And I'm talking about this year's ranking. You could easily see Burrow. I mean, he's 4 points behind Rodgers. You could easily see him move up ahead if Rodgers doesn't play a full game. But then once again, you've got Stafford at 7 and Hurts at 8, and they're 2 points behind Burrow. So, I mean, they're all kind of in the competition for that 5th spot. But I think at the end of the day, we'll still see Allen, Herbert, Brady, Mahomes as the top 4, though. But I think next year, outside of Kyler Murray, those are really your top 8 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Prescott's right there, too. And then the question comes,
Russell Wilson.
I was going to say Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not drafting him, but yes,
No, I'm not either.
he's got to be considered for that top 8. And I actually think next year could be really good for him. You know, when everybody is healthy. But no, I'm not drafting him. And
No.
I think it's also fun to toy around with the guy I just threw out there, Russell Wilson. I mean, if this
Depends
guy
on
gets
where he
hurt,
goes.
yeah, but anywhere he goes, he's not going to be Russell Wilson right now, right? He's just not going to be. He's not going to be the injured Russell Wilson, the guy who's not moving a lot. He's not using his wheels a lot. I mean, we didn't love him last year coming into this season because of his unpredictability, his ability to be right here or his ability to be up here on a weekly basis. But regardless, if you look at the numbers over the past 3 to 5 years, I mean, Russell Wilson is in that top 10 every single season. And I expect the same next year. And I expect that he's going to outduel some of these other quarterbacks that are in the top 10 this year.
I won't be surprised. I think he could be a great value next year. All right, so real quick. So these are your top 10 on the season, right? We already went through the top 5. Then 6 through 10, you got Burrow, Stafford, Hurts, Prescott, and Murray. Who do you think the next 2 are on the outside looking at? I want to see if you can get this.
I think Kirk Cousins is in there, right?
Yep.
All right, and then is it Patrick Mahomes?
We already had Mahomes. He's number 4.
Oh, I didn't think you said his name. My bad. Okay. Give me a hint. Give me a hint. What conference?
One very dear to you.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Bro.
So Wentz is a top 12 quarterback, man.
Bro.
And I mean, you got Carr and Tannehill right behind him, 5 points behind him. But yeah, Wentz is a top 12 quarterback on the season. Yeah.
Tannehill was disappointing. Carson Wentz, wow, that's a surprise.
I mean, I think Tannehill more than likely finishing as a top 15 quarterback isn't that disappointing.
To me, it is because you and I really thought he was going to really transcend.
We thought he'd be really better. We did, but I think at the end of the season, top 15 is not that bad, you know. But really, like, there's just such a significant drop off. Now, if Lamar was completely healthy this season, he'd be within the top 12 easily.
Yeah. Dude, he's missed like so many games.
He's still a top 15 quarterback as stands, and Russ is 16th. So, you know, those guys getting their numbers skewed could have easily passed Wentz, Carr, Tannehill, Cousins, right? But even then, I mean, your top 16 guys are still those guys we just talked about. Then there's such a drop off after that, man. I mean, Heineke, Garoppolo, Mac Jones, who I think Mac Jones could improve.
I don't know if they're ever going to use him that way. Tom Brady wasn't even an amazing fantasy option. And
depends on matchups. You play him with matchups, right? Matt Ryan, who knows what's going to happen with Matt Ryan next year?
That's the end.
Roethlisberger's obviously done. And then it gets bad. You got Bridgewater, Mayfield, Lawrence, Goff, Tua, Jones, Darnold, Wilson, Mills, Fields, Winston. And then you got Hill, technically. The only 2 that I would have any faith in would be Justin Fields and Hill.
For me, it's Zach Wilson. Okay. For me, it's Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance.
Lance is fair too.
And Justin Fields as the 4 that I think can get in there. Let me just tell you this right now. I actually, dude, you know I've got a little bit of a crush on my man Zach Wilson. I think this kid's gonna be good. I really do for fantasy. I think he's good. Dude, he has had way more promise than Trevor Lawrence. He's had way more promise than any other quarterback that got drafted this year outside of Davis Mills and Mac Jones. I mean, he's been better than the rest of them.
Mac and cheese, bro.
No. It's Mac Jones, Davis Mills, Zach Wilson to me.
He looked good against Jacksonville.
He looked good at Tampa Bay.
So 19 for 33, 234 passing yards, a touchdown, a pick, 2 rushing attempts for 0 yards. But he almost won the game. I guess that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and you've seen, I mean, what he can do, his skill set that he has, it can really be unlocked. I mean, with an offense that's going to improve next year. I mean, another year under the belt.
Since when is Zach Wilson your boy?
Okay, what I'm saying, you've heard me compliment this guy over the year when he has not deserved it.
Oh,
I
I don't
but
know where this is coming from, boys.
but listen. I'm not saying like because I hated on this guy mad coming into the draft. Like this by no means was this somebody that I was rooted in coming into the season, but I just look at it as like he's kind of got the exact skill set you look for in terms of a fantasy player. I mean, he's fast. You've seen that when he shows his wheels, and he's got an electric arm. He can make almost any throw on the football field. He's got a Patrick Mahomes S type of arm, not necessarily arm power, but he can hit it from anywhere. So I like him, and I do actually have some optimism for this Jets offense next year. It has some good pieces. It has some good pieces that are young.
It's true. I mean, you got Carter, you got Moore. Okay.
They got Becton, who got banged up in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
They got another, forget the guard that they also drafted as well, and they've got a ton of draft capital next season. My only question mark would be they're going to be in the Russell Wilson sweepstakes as well. So, do they use that draft capital to pivot off of Zach Wilson for Russell Wilson? We'll see, but I like him. I don't mind him.
Steven likes Zach Wilson. You guys heard it at 9:14 on January 4th here at the Catch at the hour and 11 mark in the stream. Make sure you guys bookmark it. AMG, which rookie had the best development this season? I think Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones.
Look at the beginning of the season. I mean, it looked like the Patriots were in shambles again. Like they did not have it figured out. And he has stayed poised in a very tough system and with a very tough coaching staff as well. So you got to give it to Mac and Cheese, right?
And Davis Mills for me, number 2. Taking
sure,
dude, sure. He's a good quarterback. And just think if some of these other teams out there that spent up on their draft cap, think about the 49ers went and took Davis Mills, and I think it was the 3rd round, and didn't do everything else they did. I mean, this dude is very similar to Mac Jones. I mean, he's a good polished quarterback. I liked him coming out of Stanford. He can make all the right throws. He's a great game manager type of quarterback. I think he's had a really good season. And when you're looking at the Houston Texans, he's a great player to build off of because, I mean, he's not going to lead you to the playoffs with that shitty roster, but you can use him as a stone over these next year or two to see what, this team can do because they've got a lot of rebuilding to do.
Steven likes David Mills. Make sure you guys bookmark it. 9:15, January 4th.
I like Davis Mills.
Hour and 12-minute mark. You guys heard it here at the Catch. Zach Wilson got shut up by Mike White. Yeah, you're not wrong, Ronald. Now, I will say, Mike White had that game, and he had some opportunities, and he didn't really capitalize moving forward.
Dude,
he was a good
because of our Madden matchup where everybody was like, put him in, and then I got my ass kicked against you.
He was a good one gamer. I mean, him coming out and saying he should have been the first overall pick was definitely respectable. So
yeah, that was fine.
I root for a guy like that for sure. Joshua, I really thought I had a chance to win first. Ended up at 3rd. My team was Herbert, Tyreek, Jamar, Taylor, Swift, Schultz, Deontay, Barkley, and Goddard bench. Cowboys defense as well. Rate my team. Yeah, I would think you would have a shot to win first. How did you not win with Jamar sprinkled in there?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. And it's not like Jonathan Taylor had a bad day. He did well. I think Swift was the issue and Tyreek.
If you got 3rd, that means you didn't make it to the championship this past week, right? Because if you're competing in the championship this past week, I think you would have easily won. So, but hey, 3rd is still an accomplishment, especially with how volatile and crazy this fantasy season was. 3rd place is an accomplishment, unless your name's Steven. But for the rest of you guys, 3rd place is something to be very, very proud of.
Touche.
This was a tough fantasy season, man. I'm telling you guys. I ain't never seen it like this. It was a bloodbath this year, man.
And I'm hoping we don't have to see one this chaotic again either. I would like to have a little bit more household name factor next year in fantasy where we can get to know these guys. We can get to know who is on our team on a weekly basis instead of having to cycle through and play, Dare for the Jags or you name it, right? We've all had our guys that we've had to play this season that we were questioning about. They were in the NFL. a couple weeks ago. I mean, shit, Braxton Berrios has become has become a legend in New York, right? He's certainly a Jet to remember.
Vincent bookmarks noted. Ronald, I mean, everyone's trying to win first. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But look at it big picture. I mean, it's hard. It's not easy to win a fantasy championship, but you're absolutely right. Hashtag Steven sucks at fantasy. Joshua, I lost second round right before the championship, week 16. All those guys were absent. Yeah, just imagine if you'd made it one more week, man. Hashtag last place.
Fans, I'm coming for you next season, baby. Don't even hit me up about a trade next year, brother. Don't even hit me up.
Finagled you for the trade this year, dude. Championship week or championship this week, baby. Both leagues. Let's go, AMG.
Let's get it.
Ronald, I came in second with no one but waiver wire ads. Yeah, I believe it. Oh yeah, I saw this in Discord. Josh, I mean they didn't score well as a team. Yeah. I had a 7.2 point lead with one play left the season, lost. So yeah, Najee Harris scoring at the end, right? Whew. AMG, I won with backups and waiver wire pickups. I mean, part of fantasy football is not just drafting well. I mean, you can be an awful drafter and be a great team manager throughout the season.
I honestly think I kind of tend to see my seasons go out that way, where I become more of a manager than a drafter.
Yeah, I don't want to give you I don't know.
What about you? I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think you are? Yeah, about your teams in the past. I mean, not this season.
Generally speaking, generally speaking, I am a manager. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because
look at the past 2 years. That's where I'm at. This year, I just made there are a couple moves I made that weren't the right moves.
Yeah.
And then I put too much faith in specific guys on my team.
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson. So Spencer, John, my controller comes tomorrow. Will the elite controller make me better at Madden? I don't know.
I think it will.
I don't have an elite controller, but I owe you a couple games, bro. Ronald, my back-to-back went away that quick. Crazy. One Najee Harris. He either burnt it, he either won your league last night, or he got you out of the league.
Yeah.
LeBron's brain, y'all just wait. I'm gonna be in the league next year. Let's go. Steven, let's make a bet on who finishes better next year.
Dude, I'm personally coming after you next year, Spence. Coming after you, brother. Hey, with that said, I had a rivalry with you this year, and we saw how that turned out.
Yeah. My best friend won our league 2 years in a row and won his other league this year as well. I think I know the blueprint. Draft Rodgers and Aaron Jones before him. Shake my head. Hey, watch out for those guys who draft Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams together.
I was going to say, John, we didn't make fun of it. We said that this was a smart move, drafting combinations of players like an Adams and a Rodgers. But I don't know if there's a much better strategy than that next year. Get these two, because this pair, if they are together, obviously, they just unlock something that is so consistent with your team. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
Rodgers talking this past week, maybe it was a week before, saying that he doesn't have to talk to Davante Adams on the field. They just know what they're both thinking.
Yeah.
And if you watch it, sometimes you can catch it where they just look at each other and they make a face and they run a play. And sometimes it's a happy face or it's a not happy face, but they just kind of look at each other, and before you know it, they're doing their thing. And it's kind of crazy, man.
They will go down as one of the best duos of all time, 100%.
I don't think there's anyone else at that level in terms of a tandem. There are other good tandems out there, but I don't think there's anyone. I mean, the defense knows. I mean, come on, this Packers team, I mean, they've got good enough skill position players, but you know who Rodgers is going to turn to, man.
Yeah.
You don't win fantasy in the draft. You win it on the waiver wire for sure. John doesn't trade. That's true, man.
He doesn't.
Too afraid.
I think you should. Actually, no, I can't even say that. I was just about to say I think you should consider that next year. But I've traded in the past, and I don't think I'm necessarily the best trader. I don't. Yeah. But John, somebody offered you. What did Tyler offer you? He offered you
people wanted James Robinson for me really bad.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I probably should have done that one. Simon President, hey Catch fam. I lost the chip by 5 points thanks to Chubb. Oh well, next year. Yeah. Man, I really, really thought Chubb was going to come through for you guys last night.
So did I. I thought he was in a good game.
Hate to hear it, Simon. We appreciate you, bro. Ronald, I tend to overpay in the first 3 rounds to get my players, and 4 to 7 are the meat where you get the bargains, and after that, everyone is a flyer that can be replaced on waivers. It's true. It's true.
Yep. And don't draft defenses or kickers until the very end if you have to do it.
Oh, I took the Rams early this year.
Yeah, and that was a bad pick, bro. That was a bad pick. Yeah.
Never do that again. First year I ever did that. I got smart this year.
I think that was one, where I forgot you did that. You drafted them like hella early.
They were one of the first defenses taken. Yeah. I wanted a solid defense, but that's why you don't do it.
Because every defense changes.
Especially if the defense gets a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
AMG inconsistency was high this season. Absolutely. Spencer, Steven, I'm not worried at all. I'm shaking my booties right now.
They better be Ugg booties, brother. Better be Ugg booties.
Sport Dog 1000. What's good, bro? John, Steven, placing third has earned me a check. And yes, it was one of the toughest seasons I've ever had, but you two helped me in my struggle. Thanks. We'll be taking time off for a few weeks now. First of all, congrats. Congrats on, getting the bag, even if it's a smaller bag than first or second. And, we appreciate being part of your fantasy season. Truly been an honor to be part of all your guys' fantasy seasons. I gave you guys a special message. Many of you saw it yesterday, trying to get all my thoughts and emotions out there on reflecting on the season. So make sure you guys go check out that video I did yesterday. But outside of that, we'll be taking a couple weeks off, sort of, but not really, kind of. But really, it doesn't have to do with the fantasy season ending. It has more to do with my wife and I having a baby who's coming within the next couple of weeks, if not the next couple of days. So it has more to do with that than anything, or else we'd be going full steam, hanging out with you guys, playing Madden, doing NFL coverage, watching, week 18, watching postseason games, watching the Super Bowl with you guys, doing all kinds of things. But our schedule will change a little bit. But like I said, we have got a ton of content coming for you guys. We'll keep you guys updated. We got all kinds of things planned. We are so freaking excited, as much as we're going to miss fantasy football. And always remember this. We will always primarily be a fantasy football channel, but the Catch family is much more than fantasy content. We have a lot coming for you guys. So you'll probably see us take a couple of days of downtime. And we won't be streaming as consistently, but we will have plenty of streams still and plenty of uploads and things to keep you guys connected and engaged as well. So
I think it'll be much more of a fluid process too, in terms of kind of seeing how it goes. Whereas maybe recently and over the course of the season, it's been structured and scheduled, and now we're going to see it be a little bit more fluid coming right off the fantasy season.
And another thing that I talked about in the video that I posted yesterday is we haven't had, and I talked about this Monday night too. We got into a good little deep convo for those of you who were here Monday night. We haven't had time to reflect on the season or what Steven and I, or what the channel has accomplished, what you guys have built. Like, we haven't had time. We haven't taken a day off outside of Christmas, Thanksgiving, to sit down and say, this is what we did this year. What do we structure out of this? So I can tell you guys, end of July through the end of next fantasy season, we will be just as balls to the walls as we were this past season, if not more.
Yeah.
So next season is going to be wild. I can't wait. I know Steven can't wait. We got plenty of stuff coming in the meantime, though. But we just appreciate all you guys, man. We appreciate you guys building this community with us. It's been a wild ride, man. It truly has.
And appreciate also feedback of what you guys are going to want to get out of the next so-and-so months before the mock draft start, before the fantasy off season officially starts, right? We want to know what you guys want to see so that we can engineer our creative content to that, so that it's always interactive with you guys, so that you're not just seeing stuff that you have no interest in, right? Especially for part of the loyal Catch fam that have been here for a long time, or you guys that are just jumping on board now and are loving what you guys are having. You guys are loving the community. tell us what you want, right? Let's keep it going. Let's keep this train moving.
Sure. James Martin, Cup and Stafford. I want that stack. Yeah, I want Cup in general. If you play in a keeper league, I'm sorry because you're not getting Cup next year.
Yeah.
Joshua, but yo, real talk. This is the only fantasy channel I'm subscribed to. Really helped me a lot this year. Thanks, guys. Next year again. 100%, man. Love to hear that.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Love to hear that, bro. We're just honored to be a part of each and every one of your guys' fantasy season. Like I said, man, if you guys didn't check out the video I posted yesterday for you guys, I mean, you guys have heard me thank you guys 100 times, but that was the best job I could do with really just putting everything into one video in terms of how thankful and appreciative and excited we are for this community. And I'm sure everything that I said, Steven reaps as well. So
yeah.
Spencer, I win my leagues with trades. You win drafts in rounds 4 through 9. I'm just scared, bro.
4 through 9 is kind of right in there, right? The 4 through 7, 4 through 9. That's where you're really building the bulk of your squad. You're more than likely drafting your quarterback in that round too. So, yeah, that's a critical spot right there.
Yeah, Ronald, trading is not the way to go because you have to give up something to get something. So at some point in the season, the trade will be bad.
Yeah.
So it's better to watch the wire because St. Brown and Penny can beat everyone who was drafted early in the finals. Sure. James Martin, for sure, do not draft a defense. Streaming defenses works out great for me. That's what I always did before this past year.
Yeah.
I've never done anything different. So yes, I would agree with that sentiment. Joshua, by the way, do you guys have a FFIG page? We do not yet. Once again, that goes back to we haven't had time to reflect or really expand. I mean, we did the Discord page, and that's it. So
yeah,
we're thinking of all those things as well. Chill Will. So I drafted a dope lineup in a couple leagues, but I streamed my quarterbacks all year, which this year kind of bit me in the ass. Should I do that next season or draft a solid QB early? I think you kind of meet in the middle. You don't need to go streaming. You don't need to go too early, but you find that sweet spot. We kind of talked about this earlier in the stream. You look for that Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. I mean, you can get a very, very solid quarterback kind of in the mid, and it doesn't really cost you an early wide receiver, an early running back. Doesn't really cost you much of anything. So
yeah, for me, I think you hit it right on the head there, John. You go right in the middle of those two approaches, but then you specifically focus on what your league rewards you most for, right? And mostly for fantasy, it's a quarterback with rushing upside, right? For a lot of these guys, I mean, like Ryan Tannehill, who is actually relatively mobile, he wasn't that great this year, right? He saw less rushing work, right? And other quarterbacks that are kind of like right outside that top 12, it's because they're more pocket passers. So for me, the way I like to handle the quarterback position is I'm trying to do it right in the middle of that, right? Not too early, not too late, but then also looking for a quarterback that's got the wheels. He can give me some rushing upside so that I know he can have a terrible matchup, a shitty performance on the field, like a Jalen Hurts does on a lot of weeks, but he's still got those wheels that are going to give you a safe floor.
Me and Steven will hijack the stream while you're gone.
Yes.
Ronald, I can fill in with Steven if you need. Ronald, I lost all 3 games this week. I haven't gone 0-3 in 4 years. It happened in the championship game. Finished second, fourth. Hey, I think he had a great season, man. I really do. Especially, I mean, he had so many injuries in that one league. And the fact that Najee got you at the last minute, I can't imagine what that's like, bro. TX Ninja, what's good? What's up, bro? Ronald, I like streaming D and kicker, but I do not at all like streaming quarterback. You can get an every week starter in position that gets you most points in the 5th round, so I would just skip that position. Yeah, so I'm saying I kind of like it just right in the middle there, man. But I will say, man, I mean, we're pretty tuned in on the defensive streams and the kickers, bro. I mean, that's one thing that we've proven at the channel that we can get you ready for sure. So,
and it's one that I'm excited for next year too. I mean, kicker video being dropped after the stream tonight. Last defense video got posted yesterday. Bro, I was a little nostalgic. I was a little sad. I was just looking back on all the memories we've had of the kickers and defense videos this entire season. And it's just like, bro, like there's so much more to grow from those videos. I mean, like so much more analysis that can come into it next year too. So, fuck, I'm ready for next year with that, man. It's gonna be sick.
Next year's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. Yeah, it is nostalgic. It is bittersweet watching the fantasy season end. Like, you know, I mean, we still got this week left to do our normal schedule, but it is kind of weird with it coming to a close for sure. AMG, love the hard work and content delivery this fantasy football season. Hey, we appreciate that, bro. We just seriously just been an honor to be a part of your guys's your guys' fantasy seasons for sure. Chill Will facts, that's you killed me. Yeah. Ronald, well, Titans' ability to get to the wide receiver open is based on Henry, so it was a throwaway for him. AJ Brown's the only one who can just get open. Double team, so when they lost both, he was done. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. When you go back to the beginning of the season, Tannehill looked all right. And then he just slowly fell off. Except for week 1. Remember when the Cardinals decimated the Titans in week 1? Yeah. TX, is St. Brown a keeper candidate? If you drafted him, sure. But if you didn't, then what? He gets pushed to what I don't know how that works.
I think the way that goes is it's like your league will have like a setting of like waiver wire pickups, or like a certain round is the last round you can pick those guys up.
I think it usually kicks it to the 11th or 12th round, because I know when I played in a keeper league with a coworker, it was so unfair, dude. He had got Kamara off the waivers his rookie year, and that was just his keeper for the rest of his life. So he was like Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, and then I don't know whoever another second round running back was. And you just couldn't beat him because he had those two. And this was like 2 years ago, so both those guys at their peak, you know. Yeah. So for a lot of
that's also why I think it's important to kind of have like a 2-year hold on a keeper. Like,
sure,
it's not, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit ridiculous. It's better for the league to open it up, to let the players kind of move a little bit, so you don't have one guy holding a player forever, right? Because you could just stack up, and it maybe, I don't know. I don't like it as much, but
yeah. Where did you draft him? Because his cost should be free. Yeah, exactly. If his cost is free, then that's definitely something to consider for sure. Because at the end, I think the Lions might be better without Jared Goff, man. I think St. Brown might be better without Jared Goff too.
Do they move on from Jared Goff?
I mean, does it really matter if they do or they don't?
No, but I guess my point is more of like, listen, I mean, I guess again, it depends on your keeper settings, how many you can keep, where you can get them, and all that. But to be honest, I don't really care to lock in a player on this Lions team outside of Deandre Swift. That's personally how I feel about them. St. Brown is a great player. I think he's a really good talent. I think he's going to be a part of this Lions team in the future, but not really trying to lock in anybody on that team right
now. Vincent, set your floor at 10K subs next season. That'd be a dream come true. Guys, help spread the word. The fantasy season's over for most of you guys. You don't have to hide it from your league anymore. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your fantasy leagues as well. Help spread the word, because we will lose some momentum. I mean, it's tremendous that we're over 700 subscribers. It's ridiculously tremendous, but naturally, with the fantasy season ending, we will lose some subscribers. So if you're tuned in right now, hit that sub button, join the Catch fam, and guys, do whatever you can, man. Spread the good word of the Catch. And next season, Vincent, we'll do everything to hit that 10K mark. That would be astronomical. That would be amazing for both Steven and I. And I think it's definitely possible. Let's
just say this: a handstand would be nothing compared to what I'm doing on live camera. If we get 10K.
TX, I got him off the waiver in week 11. We can have up to 4 keepers.
I like that.
I think, in keeper league, especially if you're multiple keepers, you got to look to who did you draft at the end of the draft, who's still a viable option, and who's young too, who's not prone to injury,
Yeah.
So I think St. Brown, if you got 4, is definitely worth the keeper there. Ronald, if Swift was full go, then Goff is more than enough for the Lions. He's a game manager and pretty good at that. He's a fine quarterback for running team. The problem was the running game stalled and he had to throw. Sure, I don't disagree with that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what this Lions team is going to do. I don't know if that many people care, but I just don't. I don't know, man, because it's obvious that Dan Campbell's got a grip on this team. Like he's got the command of these players. Like they want to play.
He's got the pulse.
Yeah, they want to play for him. And I think if you improve this defense, I mean, they're stout up front on both sides of the ball. Their run defense not good, but the run game for them is good. You got St. Brown emerging. I mean, you saw that, connection between Josh Reynolds and Jared Goff in the late part of the season.
There. Obviously, he's been missing for a couple of weeks, but Hawkinson is one of the best tight ends in the game, one of the best young tight ends, too. They've got good young corners as well. But one of the best things these Lions did in the offseason is they built in out, right? They built from the line. And they got the trenches right, and that fits that Dan Campbell personality too. So I love the future of this team, and I think they've got so much draft capital. I think they won the trade with the Los Angeles Rams, to be totally honest. But I don't know. That's just me.
Guys, bookmark it 9:38, January 4th, hour 35.
I'm sorry. Are they much different than they were with Jared Goff?
Steven likes the.
Are they much different? Are the Rams much different?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So we're saying they're. Oh my gosh. Dude, be honest about this. I mean, QBR wise and just efficiency wise, I mean, their numbers are crazy different. Matt Stafford is kind of putting them in
He's fallen off. He's fallen off from the beginning of the season. But
also Matt Stafford has put them in the same spot that they were with Goff. They're no different.
Okay.
Jared Goff brought them to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Came a couple plays away from winning
it. Okay. These are fair points, actually. But we'll see at the end of the season.
Meanwhile, the Rams they got Matt Stafford, who I think is a good quarterback, but they lost a shit ton of draft capital. They already have none. And after Matt Stafford's done, like what the hell are they doing? I don't know.
Sure. Okay. Just a fair argument. Steven a little fired up over there. If you can keep a player that will help without losing an early pick, that could be a big advantage. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends on who you have. Sure. Ashton says the Lions definitely won. Steven's got support here. Yeah. I mean, what else did they get out of that draft? I mean, out of that trade? How many draft picks did they get?
I know they got, 2 first rounders. I forget what else they got. I know they just got a really nice draft haul from it. And then obviously it was just a swap with Jared Goff and Matt Stafford, which at face value, we haven't really seen be that crazy of a difference. I mean, it's really easy to also just say, yeah, Matt Stafford's better because he's with the Rams. But, I mean, Lions were even worse this year than they were the years prior. I mean, think about it. When they had Matt Stafford, we had Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay, and these were when they were good. I mean, Kenny Golladay, this isn't the Giants Kenny Golladay where he just came and got the bag and just sat on the sidelines. Like, these were top receivers, right? Sure. And had Hawkinson. And before that, I mean, he's had other options there too in the past. This season started off, and we were talking about some guys that were absolute no-name receivers. We literally, I remember when we were breaking down the NFC North, when talking about this Detroit Lions team, we were like, y'all know him? Do you know him? Do you know who this is? Like, we were very confused at who this roster was coming in.
Whatever happened to Tyrone Williams? I guess he got hurt.
He got cut like immediately. Yeah, he got cut like immediately. And I think he actually got picked back up by somebody recently. I want to say it was even the Raiders who used to have him. I'm not positive about that.
One of my leagues is a 2 QB format. So I did try to draft my number 1 in the 3rd or 4th. Sorry, I lost my spot here. 4th round, number 2 to 9, unless there's a ringer QB in 6 or 7. It worked this year. Number 1, Josh Allen. Number 2, Kyler Murray. Yeah, for a super flex league, those are two
studs.
Yeah, 2 studs to have for sure. Yeah. Let's see here.
Ronald.
I got Allen in the 4th, and 2 leagues I have 0 regrets. It's the only player that lasted the whole season on my injured team. I know you love you some Josh Allen, bro, and I can't debate it. QB1 on the year. Ronald Megatron, yes. Oh, Megatron. Stafford has put up great numbers throughout his career. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you think AJ Dillon will take the number 1 spot?
No.
I don't.
No.
But could we see a split again? Yes.
Yeah.
Are they both valuable next year? Yes. Stafford tends to be very underrated. He is better than Matt Ryan, and people always praise Ryan and shit on Stafford. Ashton says, I personally think Stafford is overrated, has not proved himself. The Lions had pretty good teams there for a little bit there. Yeah, definitely a quarterback.
He's a pretty polarizing player.
He is, yeah. I mean, I like Stafford. Like I root for him. I like him, but I think the stats are there in his career. But is he a winning quarterback? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, and he's still got the opportunity to prove it right here this season. Right now, it's coming out that the Rams are, if everything's settled this way, which it won't, but Rams will play Eagles first round. I think that's a winnable game for the Rams. But, dude, this is it. I mean, let's say Matt Stafford comes out here and makes it to the Super Bowl. Just like that, the Rams won this trade. In fact, I mean, and then, if he wins it, holy shit, that is when he's Hall of Fame worthy.
Do you think that they only won the trade if they win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. Yeah, it's a good asterisk.
And when you look at that Rams team going up against that Patriots team, you have a little bit more of a dynamic offense. Maybe you can outcoach that game, because that game's turned into a field goal match and then a Gronk's match at the end, right?
Yeah, and I also say this too. That game for me had less to do with Jared Goff and had way more to do with Sean McVay getting bullied by Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that was just
and I think it's funny because I like Sean. I like Coach McVay, but I think he kind of puts a lot of the blame of his failures on Jared Goff. So I don't know if you feel me on that, but that's how I kind of feel about Sean McVay.
Did you hear that, Sean?
Sean, come on, man. Let's get into it. I think I'm more of an offensive wizard on my Madden playbook. But
I'm not.
Do you kind of feel what I'm saying though? Like, he really did just throw him to the wolves, and maybe the media did create a little bit of the narrative, but it was almost like he was acting like this offense was never going to do anything without getting a beast quarterback. And like, if you're such a wizard, bro, go ahead and do it yourself. Like, fucking, Kyle Shanahan, for all the shit that we want to give him for being frustrating for fantasy owners, this dude's done it with so many quarterbacks on this 49ers team alone. I mean, nobody can stay healthy, and he's had Nick Mullins, he's had CJ Beathard. I mean, he's had all these random ass players playing quarterback, and he's had winning seasons, right? And he's made it to the Super Bowl. And to be honest, if anybody, he deserved to win that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, because a couple play calls here or there, or really, honestly, penalties here or there, the 49ers would have beat the Chiefs a couple years ago.
That was a game that the Niners probably should have won.
Yeah, exactly.
They just kind of choked.
Yeah.
Anything. So bad play calling in the second half of the game. But anyways, let's see here. They signed Jones to a 4-year deal, so I doubt Dillon takes over. That's what everyone says. Career numbers are great. You don't have to delete that message, Ashton. A lot of people feel that way. Yeah, if you guys have different opinions, please keep them in the chat. I mean, that's that's what we're here for, man. Good little debate. Nothing wrong with that. So, yeah. Any other takeaways from this past week that you wanted to hop into? I mean, dude, we got the playoffs, bro.
Yeah, good playoffs coming up.
Them Titans are number 1, man. That AFC, bro.
Dude, this is a Super Bowl team. This is a Super Bowl built roster, in my opinion.
So?
I think Super Bowl coach roster. I think Mike Vrabel's head coach.
Yeah, and you brought this up in the defensive video. I mean, his defense ain't bad right now.
No, it is not. It is not. Remember how bad they were in the beginning of the season? Like, this was like a defense like anybody was streaming against. I mean, we were like, oh, we're playing against Tennessee? Put him in there.
Yeah. LeBron's brain is Adams going to stay in Green Bay?
Yeah, I heard that they're
He's
going to
franchise
franchise
tagged.
tag
Yeah.
him. I heard they're going to franchise tag him. So they're going to hold him hostage and use him to try to keep Rodgers. So they're going to do a double
Why would you
hostage
not?
takedown. Yeah, they're going to do a hostage takedown here.
Now he can hold out and force a release.
Yeah, he can
But
make
it ain't as easy.
Yeah.
If I didn't miss anything, my prediction is he ends up at the Niners. I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely.
They've got the trade to do it. They don't have the draft capital, though, I would imagine.
If Rodgers stays, he will stay. If Rodgers leaves, he will leave. Fair enough. I could definitely see that happening too. AMG upset. Ronald, he will get more money to leave. Prob a needy team is going to pay him a lot more than Green Bay will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. TX, is it too early to consider Deshaun Watson as a keeper or see what happens? Depends on what other quarterbacks you have.
Yeah, I don't
and where you drafted him.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think about if we've seen a situation, not exactly like this, but a situation where a player like this, where not the off the field issue, Mike Vick maybe, where he comes back, talented player. Now I can't even do that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, this is removed from football.
Yeah,
the Panthers are looking like the spot that he might go to, though.
I don't think I'd personally hold on to him. But like I said, it depends on where you drafted him and depends on what other quarterbacks you have. If the price is right, sure. But I don't know, man. I don't think I would personally.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are super convicted in any sort of Watson take. And for that reason alone, I don't think it needs to be your keeper. And here's the thing, too. When you really look at how especially outside of the top, like 3 to 5 quarterbacks every season, when you look at the difference between those guys and the guys behind them, the difference is like razor thin. I mean, it's so marginal. It's like, let's not waste a keeper on a guy who I really don't think is going to be a top 3 quarterback next season.
Ronald, they paid Jones only $4 billion over 4th, only 12 guaranteed. It's crazy low for what he is. Yeah. LeBron's brain. Imagine Debo Adams on the same offense. Yeah, that is kind of.
What are you thinking about Debo next year? What are your thoughts on this guy? Because him and Cup are very similar dudes to me. Where, I mean, they're really good players, right? But what do we see next year? Because what they're doing this year, it's unreal. Like this, it's got to fall. You got to fall.
They're still. I mean, well, Cup is. Depending on where Adams is, Cup is number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
I think in every league, but I think Debo's in the top 6 for sure. For sure. The only receivers I really see, I mean, you got Cup, you got Adams. Then it gets okay. It does get a little murky because you got Jefferson, you got Chase, you got Debo.
You're forgetting a couple guys here.
And then you got Hill.
And Diggs.
And okay, I was putting Diggs in there too, but it gets that like order gets very murky very quickly. It does every year. Once you get past like the top 2 receivers, it gets really, really murky.
But bro, this gets to that discount argument, bro. The fact that you're probably going to get Tyreek Hill at such a discount next year.
Yeah, he's going to be a huge discount. So you also got to think about like going into next year, right? If a player towards the end of the season is not playing well, they lose a lot of momentum going into the next draft, regardless of how they played throughout the season overall or at the beginning of the season. So Hill's been playing down, but we'll see what he does in week 18. But the receiver position gets really interesting. I mean, Hopkins, if he's healthy.
Calvin Ridley,
LeBron's brain, and Ronald talking about St. Brown as well.
Calvin Ridley, bro. This is a dude who was the number 3 on my rankings coming into the season. You were a little bit lower. I think you still have him in your top 5 though.
No.
Okay, what, 6? Like you
I had him low. I was really low on Calvin.
Oh, okay, so you predicted his off the field nightmare.
But you don't remember that, dude? We had a huge disagreement about that.
I know we disagree, but I didn't think you dropped him out of your top 5. That's like ridiculous.
No, I'm pretty sure I did. I had no faith because I had Metcalf so high.
Okay.
And Metcalf's another guy, man. Metcalf is a top 5 receiver before his slump this year.
You know, and the guys you listed there, probably the dude who I have the least confidence in going forward is DeAndre Hopkins.
Really? Oh, I just kind of brought him up because I think that somewhere out there he's going to be considered.
Yeah, because it was like when he got moved to Arizona, there were a lot of questions on how he's going to be used, the utilization, what's his fantasy output going to be. It's not going to be exactly the same as Houston, but let's see what happens. And then he had a great year, right? And then the year right after that, it was like from the jump, you could see this Arizona offense utilized everybody, right? And that hurt his value. And I think that's what the Cardinals are going to want to do. I think they're going to want to utilize everyone. And I didn't like DeAndre Hopkins before the injury this year.
Yeah. What's up, Toker City? Good to see you as well, bro. And then also you got Deontay Johnson as a top 8 receiver this past year.
Yeah, dude, I love
Depends on who's playing quarterback, but he's been so underrated, so consistent this year.
Without Big Ben, he drops big time.
Then you've got Evans, Godwin, and Keenan Allen still. And then you got Renfro as well. And those are really, and then number 14's Lamb. So everyone we mentioned plus those couple, and it gets real murky when you're looking at all of those guys together, man. So, but I think, I think my top 5 is still Kupp, Adams, Samuel, Chase, Jefferson. Yeah, I think
Hill's outside of your top 5.
I really, if he's not in the top, I think he's number 6, man. I really think he's right there. Yeah.
Okay. So that means that you're buying the Chiefs slump going forward to next year too.
I don't know if I'm buying it, but I think with Hill, you just got so much boomer bust, you know? And
did you see that the years before? I mean, we saw boomer bust, but
and I think
than this.
When his boom is there, it's better than anyone in the league.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So, I mean, listen, I got nothing bad to say about Hill, and I think Debo and Chase can bring some of that boomer bust. And truthfully, I mean,
Debo's not in my top 5.
Okay, I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So and then, I mean, after that, dude, he just gets so murky, bro. You got Mike Williams, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Hollywood Brown, Thielen, Kirk, Scary Terry, Mooney, St. Brown, Cooper, Boyd, and Kendrick Bourne making the top 30.
What?
Yeah.
That's so lit, dude. That's so hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did mention one guy though that I wanted to talk about in terms of keeper, Jalen Waddle. Love this dude's value going forward too, especially if they keep Tua because of the way Tua throws the ball, those short dink and dunk passes.
Oh yeah. Jerry, I'm back, boys. What are the prices? No cutting.
Jerry.
No wasting time. No wasting time. Okay, we can talk about the Catch Fam League for a second here. So let me get this pulled up. Oh, I already have it pulled up. Okay. Announcement time. So I'll go ahead and
do the drop.
Let me get my share screen going here.
Dropping like his.
So let's see. Jerry, are you listening?
Jerry better be listening. Ears open.
He better be. Spencer, are you listening?
Ears open.
Who finished 3rd again? Was it Kenobi? It was Jason Kenobi. I'll make sure to get in touch with Kenobi as well.
I love that. Oh,
Boom.
baby.
Boom. So a lot of you, if you noticed during the stream, I do have a hoodie on. My wife was awesome enough to make me this D-Catch hoodie for Christmas. And then over the weekend, I set up our official merch. We don't have hats yet before you guys ask. No hats. But this merch is a little bit different than what my wife made for me. So she was really upset. This got delivered today. and I set up the merch store on Monday or on Sunday. So all we have right now: sweatshirt, long sleeve tee, hoodie, t-shirt. Keeping it pretty simplistic for now. So at this point in time, before we launch this officially to where you guys can go in and buy anything, we have like test merch coming. I just want to see it in person before y'all start spending your money. I'm not giving you guys the link yet, but we have put this together. Obviously, the logo on the front, regardless of which one you guys end up potentially being interested in, you've got the Catch Fam on the back as well. Plenty of sizes, all that good stuff. So we're pretty excited about that, man. And Jerry, you won a free hoodie. Spencer and Jason Kenobi, you guys both get a t-shirt. So shout out to you guys for, getting first, second, and third place in the Catch Fam League this year. You guys get exclusive, first time merch for free. So I'll get that set up with you guys. I'll hit you guys up on Sleeper and everything. Probably the easiest way. You're probably going to give me your address, so hopefully you guys trust me. But yeah. So after we get the sample merch, so it might be a week or so before we get that rolling and we get the the prizes to you guys. I just before I jump the gun, I want to see the stuff in person. I think it's quality control. But this site's got they're a good site and everything. I'd put a lot of research into this. So we'll drop the link as soon as I see everything in person and make sure it's to mine and Steven's liking. And if not, we'll make adjustments. And regardless, you guys will get free merch for placing first, second, and third in the Catch Fam League this year. And then after that, if you guys choose, full disclosure, we profit from this. We don't profit a lot, just full disclosure, but we do make a small profit from this. And seriously, it's not a lot of money, but more so, here and there throughout the season, you guys have been asking for this. So we got this put together, and this is the prize for now. And so thanks for you guys for playing in the Catch Fam League, and that's what we got worked out right now. Yeah,
dude, badass items too, man. I mean, the hoodie, Jerry. I see you've been wanting a new hoodie, man. That's some sexy apparel right there. Definitely wear that while you're balling on the courts, man. Show everybody, show your friends, man, because that merch is looking fly. I cannot wait to rock that shit, dude. I cannot wait to rock it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me catch back up here. Okay. TX, thoughts on Travis Etienne and Cam Akers for 22? Wonder who would be a good keeper. I would go Etienne over Akers, TX.
Yep.
Ronald, that's okay. Only wear high-end fitted hats like I would. Oh, okay. I thought this was going the other direction. I would never wear the flock hat. Yeah.
You would have seen me sign off.
No comment. If you guys want hats, we'll make them. But okay, I got no comment. Spencer, F yeah. Jerry, I've been wanting a new hoodie too. LeBron's brain, not going to buy it because I already know I'm winning next year. So next year, I think the prizes will be a little bit more intensive.
Yeah.
I definitely know next year a jersey will be on the line as well. So, but I hope that was a good. Obviously we threw together the Catch Fam League super last minute, mid-season. So I hope you guys are happy with those prizes. It was a free league and everything. So I thought that'd be a cool way to announce the merch, and I hope you guys enjoy that. And we just appreciate, you guys wanting to put together the Catch Fam League, because we had no plans of doing that. And you guys asked for it, and that was a journey. That was fun. Do you guys shout out to Philly Mike? I hope Philly Mike's doing okay. But you guys remember Philly Mike? It's been a long season, bro. It's been a long season.
Yeah, dude, just think about it. Like, because we in particular with the draft, we wanted to do that next season. That was like an item that we were super like, okay, next year we're gonna have this Catch Fam League for everybody. It's gonna be lit. And then y'all were like very early in the season, you were like, dude, what the hell, man? Get this shit rolling now. Yeah. We threw it together, and that was all because of you guys. Just like everything else with this, man. The Catch Fam is out here, bro. Putting it together.
Yeah, we never thought within the first season that we would have an opportunity to play fantasy football with you guys. So, Vincent, man, I want to be in the Catch Fam League. Ronald, I'm coming next year for you all. 50-man draft next year. How's one join a Catch Fam League? So, we'll put it all together next year for sure.
We're gonna have to have more than one league.
Yeah, I'll probably be managing like 3, 12, 14 leagues. We'll figure it out.
It's gonna be intense.
And Steven's gonna have to manage 1 or 2 as well. So it's gonna be fun. Like I said, I don't think we'll ever play for money in terms of Catch Fam League. Maybe somewhere down the road, but outside of that, it'll just be like merch and like Funko Pop, jersey, memorabilia type prizes. Just so it can be a fun league, but a league that keeps a community like close knit and there's still a prize at the end and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out to Philly Mike and Mark. Yeah, Mark still comes through quite a bit, so shout out to both of them.
Mark's in the fantasy championship, man. Shout out Marky Mark. Yeah, shout out Marky Mark. Yeah, he's getting it done right now.
Yeah. So the Catch Family was a ton of fun, man. Absolutely was. And we just appreciate you guys wanting to do that. Like I said, I don't think we had any anticipation that would happen this year at all.
Yeah.
So, and we never did a mid-season draft before, and
never
finished last, so that was fun.
Finished dead last. So we know to do it in the beginning of the season next year. Yeah.
So and yeah, that's a good point to go ahead and cap off the stream. Spencer, Jerry, Jason Kenobi, I'll get in touch with you guys, figure out after I have the sample merch here and everything, and I feel like it's good to go. I'll get in touch with you guys, and we'll, I owe 2 t-shirts and a hoodie to you guys, so I'm excited to do that for you guys, and I appreciate you guys as I appreciate all you guys being part of the Catch Fam League this year. So, listen, guys, the fantasy season's winding down, but we are still going strong here in week 18. Naturally, things are going to wind down a little bit in terms of the streams, in terms of the content. So the least we ask you guys, just check out as much as you can, stop by when you can, hit the like button, all that good stuff, man. And let's keep the community rolling. Steve and I have got a ton planned. Catch Fam ain't going anywhere, man. We got a ton of content coming, so we just appreciate you guys. Tonight was a lot of fun, man. It's a great example of fantasy might be winding down, but hey, we can talk football all night, baby.
Yeah,
all night.
Yeah.
If I see 1 minute less of content, I'm out. All right, I'm out, guys. This was a lit announcement that I wasn't expecting. Let's go, LeBron's brain. Jerry, I'll be expecting the hoodie, the Polaroid of Steven, the block of cheese. Holy shit, I owe you a block of cheese.
Yo, you got to give him the Polaroid to me.
I do. And I totally forgot about the block of cheese. I want to make that shit happen, bro. Second to the announcement of John's baby. Let's go. Let's
get it.
A&G, yeah, man. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, we appreciate you guys, man. Tonight was a blast. Like I said, man, stop by when you guys can. Come hang out. We're going to be talking plenty of football when we can. I'll keep you guys updated on my end with my situation. And we're going to just treat week 18 like a regular week because there's plenty of you guys. We got enough feedback that you guys are playing through week 18. So congrats to everyone on a phenomenal fantasy season. Like I said, if you guys didn't check out my video yesterday, I tried to encompass all of my thoughts, emotions, and feelings about this season and the Catch Fam. So go check that out. And we just appreciate you guys, man. Steven, I'll let you sign off here.
Yeah, man. Tons of more content to come in the off season. And tomorrow, let's get right back at it. Let's make it a live stream. And we're going to be going over NFL predictions in terms of awards that are going to be coming through once the actual season wraps up. And even more fun, one of my favorite things to do at the end of the year is to think about who is your fantasy awards, right? Who is the fantasy MVP, right? Who was the biggest bust on the season, whatever. We're going to be breaking down that tomorrow as well, and I'm pumped for that.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait for that. So yeah, be a little bit more interactive tomorrow. So make sure you guys swing by, come hang out for a bit. We appreciate you guys, man. Hit that like button on the way out. Hit the sub button if you're new to the channel. Feel free to comment any questions, concerns down below. If you do watch this retrospectively, hit that notification bell so you never miss any uploads or streams. Discord link is in the description down below. Completely free to join, connect with the community, get NFL fantasy updates when you guys are not hanging out in the stream. Come hang out. It's a lot of fun on there. Appreciate you guys. Vincent, thanks, fellas. Thank you. TX Ninja, peace out, bro. AMG, Catch Fam, let's go. Thanks for the fire content. John and Steven, thank you. Terry, I'll definitely watch the stream tomorrow. Talk to everyone next time. We will see you guys tomorrow. Got nothing else to say, but thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And peace.